Hey everybody, it's MGTOW Academy. I decided to make this last minute, podcast because I wanted to talk about Father's Day. I never really knew what to talk about. It just came up last minute, so there's no script. It's just me going at it, off the top of my head. So I wanted to take this time pretty much to talk about Father's Day and why I particularly want to discuss the portrayal of dads in the media, right? My old, but I don't know how long this is. A couple years ago. I made a video on men in the media. It was a while ago. And I'm pretty sure the quality sucks compared to now, but I'll still link it to you guys to check out, where I explain more in depth about how men are portrayed in the media. That includes fathers, of course, and it really was eye opening to me, and that's why I made that video. And I also wanted to take the time, since it's Father's Day, to highlight the importance of dads in our society. Well, what do you mean dads in our society, MGTOW Academy? How do they influence us as a society as a whole? And I'm going to talk about that in today's podcast, which isn't, it's just an unofficial spur of the moment thing. Okay. Anyways, going forward, I'm just wishing everyone a happy Father's Day. In the United States, at least, that's when this is being released. It's going to be Father's Day when this is released. Right now, it's actually Father's Day already. It's like 12 a.m. for me because, like I said, last minute, right? Anyways, I'm pulled up on my Twitter account because that's where I made a thread highlighting the significance of Father's Day. And I'm just not sure if everyone that follows me on all platforms is aware of my Twitter. So I was like, hey, what the hell? Why not? So why not make a video specifically sharing the information with everyone? So let's go ahead and get started on this, guys. All right. So first, going back to my point of men in the media, I did mention more in depth that men aren't exactly portrayed in the most positive manner per se in the media, right? And on that Twitter thread that I made, I linked an infographic showing the chances of men being portrayed as a positive or a negative character, right? So get this. Men are more likely to be portrayed as a metrosexual pretty boy, a ladies' man or a skirt chaser, and a macho man or an action hero, as opposed to someone who is good-hearted, trying to do the right thing, hardworking and self-sacrificing, and protective and fatherly, right? And I discussed that once again in my podcast, Men in the Media, which was a while back. But hey, why not cover it again, right? So now that we know the chances of how guys are portrayed in the media, how exactly is this important? Why should I care about what's on TV? Well, I'll tell you why. Remember that we are a product of our environment, and then when men or fathers in this case, because it's Father's Day, are portrayed as incompetent fools who can't do anything right. That flawed perception that can trickle into other aspects of life that affects a father's role in their child's life. So the difference between positive fatherhood and the lack of positive fatherhood is improved self control in children, improved responsibility, more confident and happy girls, reduced behavioral issues with young boys, increased verbal skills, increased mathematical competency in young daughters, considerably higher cognitive skills, increased sense of security and confidence. Someone is twice as likely to enter college with a positive fatherhood experience. They are 75% less likely to become a teen parent, 80% less likely to become incarcerated, and the chances of them showing symptoms of depression is less likely. A young male's chance of engaging in criminal activity is doubled if he is in a fatherless household, and it triples if he lives in a neighborhood with a high concentration of fatherless households. And get this, guys, in a 26-year-long study, it's been proven that father involvement is the number one factor in the development of empathy in children. And if there's a characteristic that the world world needs right now, it's empathy. I can promise you that. So, compared to less involved fathers, highly involved fathers can increase cognitive and social competence, reduce inclination to gender stereotype, increase their, showing of empathy to others, and create better psychologically adjusted children. So, on Twitter, that was the thread that I pretty much made. I read it out to you guys because I wanted to share the message. Okay, that's the whole point of this. I wanted to share the message in that thread to everyone as much as possible. Now, once again, the reason I made that thread was to highlight the importance of fatherhood. A family, it's the basis of society when you think about it. And if the children in those families, which make up our society, miss an integral part, which is that, uh, experience with positive fatherhood, we could see the effects of that further down the line. So I believe that a lot of the problems that we may see in our society today can be solved with, you know, the family unit as a whole. And that's something I've talked about time and time again, is that, whenever we see the family structure fall apart, well, society is going to see its effects further down the line, because that is what society is. It's compromised. It's not compromised. It is composed, excuse me, of families, right? So whenever I see, fathers and whatnot being portrayed in a negative manner, it's a small little detail, but that can have a profound effect, especially when you consider the significance of fathers in our families, which, once again, when you add that all together, make up the big picture for our society. So, anyways, you might be asking, what are some actionable steps that you could take to help promote positive fatherhood? Well, here's what you can do. You can start discussion with, parents on positive fatherhood, right? You could be mindful of the media's portrayal of fathers and how these ideas affect our perception of fatherhood. We can encourage positive portrayal of fathers in the media, so word of mouth, like talking to your friend, hey, did you see that commercial by so and so? I like the way they talked about dads. That was quite nice. Stuff like that. You can also actively involve fathers in all possible stages of parenting as much as possible. So if someone's listening to this and you're a parent, you're like the wife or whatever, or you're the other dad, whatever it may be. If you want to try to involve the father as much as possible, that's a great step you can take, right? And then also you can provide them with educational information on their significance and how they can get more involved. All right. So by letting fathers know how significant they are and how important they are, that's one step you could take to motivate them to become more involved. And of course, this just generates more conversation. All right. If you want to donate to an organization to help support, dads and whatnot, you can check out Lads Needs Dads, the Movember Foundation, or Dads at Home. The dads, I think it's the At Home Dad Network or something like that. I'll link all those charities in the description for you guys to donate to. And off the top of my head, those are the ones I can think of. But those are some charities you guys can support. As always, my sources will be linked for you guys to check out as well. And once again, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Father's Day. I hope you learned a thing or two from this quick spur of the moment podcast. I know it's not the best. I didn't have a script. I didn't prepare for it. This is my first recording. This is my first go at it. I'm tired. That's why I messed up quite a bit and things were slowed around. But honestly, that doesn't matter too much. What matters to me is that the message gets out there. It may not be the best quality, but that's not my goal. My goal is to generate conversation. My goal is to educate people individually, to generate conversation, and make the change I hope for, one podcast at a time, or at least in the case of Twitter, one tweet at a time. Of course, if you have any questions or you want to join more discussion with me, just reach out to me on Twitter or via email. My Twitter handle is at all caps MGTOW followed by Academy. The first A in Academy is capitalized. Or shoot me an email to mgtowacademy.media@gmail.com, and I will be happy to talk to you about whatever you'd like to. Anyways, once again, happy Father's Day, guys. Remember to spend that time, if you're able to, with your dad or a fatherly figure in your life. And please, if you have any stories you'd like to share, I'd like to hear them. And I'll see you guys soon. All right. Bye.